So a Bybit tutorial, you've probably been searching for this, wondering where it is. So here we go. We're going to do a Bybit tutorial. It's a very simple one. I'm going to keep it short and sweet so you understand it. We're going to use demo trading. We're going to explain the basics because I'm pretty sure most of you will know what's happening here. But the first thing you need to be wary of is don't get confused between spot trading and derivatives, right? Spot trading is where you invest. Derivatives is where you trade, okay? So Bybit is for everyone. You can invest on here. You can trade on here, okay? There's a link below. Check it out. 20% off on all your fees forever if you jump in, because we now have a partnership with them. Myself, I've used it since 2018. We as a company have been using them since 2019, 2020, and now we're finally in a partnership with them to enable you to get better fees, to ensure that you are getting a good deal when you're doing your spot trade and all that kind of good stuff. So when you become a member, you have got this page. Deposit, simple. Personally, I like to go to this area into your assets, into your spot wallet, and then utilize that. And it's much easier because you can go and deposit whatever the hell you want very, very easily. Make sure you're using the right network from whatever exchange you're sending it from, and all that kind of good stuff. It's super straightforward. Other things to be wary of, obviously, as I said before, you got the conversion stuff with spot, all that kind of good stuff. You've got trading bots, you've got leverage tokens, all that kind of stuff, right? It's like any exchange. I don't want to go too deep in it because I will lose you very, very quickly. So please stick with me before I show you how it all actually works so you can get ahead of the game and actually make some money on these platforms, which makes sense. Derivatives, obviously the main one here, Tether, and then obviously inverse. I love the inverse pairs more. If you don't know what these are, it's like having the underlying asset and also being leverage on it. So let's just say you want to do a 2x long on Bitcoin, for example. You're owning the underlying asset, so you're growing Bitcoin as it's going up, and also you're getting that value appreciation. So it's pretty damn decent. I love it. Anyways, other things, MetaTrader 4, if you want to connect into that. If you want to create your own trading bot, you can. There's copy traders as well. There's earn portfolios, all kinds of stuff. But again, as learning crypto advocates of on-chain staking, we don't recommend that you use the earn platform because you're better off getting a better deal on the chain yourself than utilizing an exchange. Just in case you lose your phone, you lose your 2FA, or you forget your password or anything like that, or anything really, really negative happens, you don't want to be a part of that, right? So what we're going to do, going to go over the demo platform, which will go through the basics of how to use it in terms of doing an order and stuff like that. But I wanted to show you something first. If you go onto spot and you say, let's just say Ethereum, if you are looking to buy, obviously you need Ethereum to buy. This is kind of what it looks like on the spot side. It is very, very simple. Don't worry about the margin 10x. You got limit order, buy at the price that you want. Market out order, buy whenever the hell you want at whatever price it gives you, which is basically right now. And then that is literally it. It will then go into your wallet and you can keep it in there, or you can go and get a ledger, put it in your ledger, keep it nice and safe. But utilizing the spot platform or Bybit is pretty straightforward in my opinion. So you can't really get lost. If you're looking to change your assets and you want to do it simple, just go over to this little area here and you got all your little orders. So if you say you wanted to buy, I don't know, ADA, which you can, cool. Just make sure you don't buy the leverage tokens, which are these, okay? You want to buy the underlying asset, okay? So make sure you can see it. Obviously this uses TradingView, very, very straightforward. If you're used to it, easy, right? Now let's go to the spot trading, the demo trading, sorry. So demo trading. This is a demo trading for spot. We're not really that interested in that. Again, it looks very, very much the same. So if I wanted to buy some, maximum buy-in of Cardano, and I wanted to just buy some here, market execution, we'll just do it for market execution, $3,000 worth of, that we have now got in our asset tray, 9,000, whatever, right? Really, really straightforward. So that's kind of you just doing an execution of a buy. It's straightforward, just on the demo account. Now, what we're more interested in is actually this side of it. Derivatives, because this is where people want to go. This is where people really get quite excited about certain things. And you need to be wary of certain pitfalls in terms of how to do certain things. Now, this is what it looks like if you are over and on this side of it. Now, this is something that's different and new. You have isolation, you have cross, and you have portfolio margin. Personally, I use this. This is the one that I use more. Why? Because it's easier. With Cross, you are utilizing your entire balance to manage liquidation. Personally, if your risk management's good, you don't need it, but isolation just gives you that absolute fail stop to know where your liquidation prices are. So if you're going to use 1% of your account, i.e. 1% risk whenever your stop loss is hit, an isolation is much easier for you to manage, right? So let's just do a cheeky little long. Now, the system that I like to approach is I like to use 1% of risk, maybe 2% on a safer move, but I don't really trade much these days. So realistically, it's down to you, but I always say no more than 3%. If you are risking more than 3% on one trade, you're stupid. No offense to anyone, but yeah, you will blow yourself up very, very quickly. Now, leverage is entirely up to you. Leverage, I will show you, means no real thing depending on where you are. Lower the time frame, the higher the leverage it should be. Realistically, that's kind of the rule of thumb, but it depends on how much you're risking to. So let's just say 10, we'll do 10x, simple. Now, what I like to do is I like to put 10% in here, and then that will give us a cost. The cost for this trade is going to be $4,600. Yeah, lovely. Tickety boo. $4,600. Because what we've got in our available balance is actually here. Super straightforward. So with that 10%, what we want to do, we want to go to the take profit and stop loss section. And what we're looking at is filling in this. Now, what I like to look at is trigger by P&L, because this is the easiest thing to work out. What we're looking to do is have a loss of 1%. So for example, in this situation, 1% of 4,670 is roughly 467 quid, which will give you 10%. So that will mean that when we go live in a trade here, we're only going to lose 1% of our position because we've already put 10% worth of Ethereum in there and all kinds of stuff like that. So again, if you wanted to change it by order value, you can. So if you press order value, go 10%, it will give you the number of what it's worth, and then the cost is here, and then the quantity will change there. So if you go longsies, it's very, very straightforward. So with regards to this, obviously, let me just double check this is correct. Stop loss at that point, cool, if we're going long. As you can see, it's very, very tight, right? But that's because it's only 1%. Realistically, this is why you need to kind of, you know, if we're on a higher time frame, you're probably going to get stopped out at some point, but you would never use a 10x on a daily time frame, for example, right? You would probably use a lot less. Anyways, moving on. If we go long, it will give us a position. That's how it looks. Now, let's look at why this is important. This is the most important thing, is the margin. If you get liquidated, this is the thing that you will lose, right? Literally, that is the cost of it. Shows the margin required for the positions. As you can imagine, it's not too bad because we've got quite a lot in the account. But the reality is very, very simple. You can see here you got your stop loss in place, which is here. You got your buy order here, and the overall position is there. It is super, super straightforward. Now, when I say, you know, if you took off your stop loss and had zero kind of, you know, impulsive behavior and you went all the way down to 1,681, that means you are going to lose that amount, what you put on, not your entire account, just what you put on that trade. So with regards to it, it is very, very straightforward. Now, in terms of everything else, now this isn't the best because you got obviously trading stop losses kind of hidden. If you wanted to close it, you can close it by limit order, or you can close it by market execution, or what you can do is click on here and you can add a, you know, a take profit. If you wanted to make some money here, obviously, if you wanted to take profit of say $2,000, which is roughly, I'll just do the ticker, you're going to make $3,563 with a nice little return of investment. Now, if that goes up, we should see, there we go, a little take profit signal up here. If I go to the daily time frame, by the way, you'll probably see it in much better, there you go, much better detail. So from the lower of the range to the top of the range, you can make some decent wanga. But as you can imagine, Ethereum is hardly moving, it's a bit crap. So that's like the crux of it, really. There's nothing much else really for you to know other than the fact of that situation. Other things you can do though, you can do a limit sell, and you can sell partial positions. So if you wanted to sell only say 25% of your position, you can do that and it'll close it. You can do it, manually, or as you can see here, you can do partial positions. So if you want to sell so many positions, you can at a certain limit order. But again, you can just press limit order, set what price you want to close it at, and the percentage there. So that's it. Like, there's nothing really much for me to go on other than the obvious that you can use this like TradingView. All the information up here, like your funding rates are all here. If you wanted to move to another asset, it's here. If you want to favorite an asset, it will appear up at the top here, like what these are. It is super straightforward. And again, like when you're looking at this, there's nothing much for you to go on. Now, if you start getting into a bit of bother, you can start decreasing your margin or moving things around if you wanted to, but there's nothing much for you to do other than like set your own kind of pace, set your own plan, and do it your own way. Obviously 1% of your risk is hugely important, so you're not going to blow yourself up. If you wanted to promote your thing, obviously you can see the market is just not moving at all. But yeah, there you go. This unrealized sort of situation due to the fees is because it was a market execution pretty much when I did it. So yeah, other than that, there's not much really to go on other than to show you how the basics of this will work. Again, if you wanted to change this to standard mode, you can. It's not really the neatest. But yeah, there's nothing much for me to go on other than the fact of that. But we're currently on XRP. But there we go. That is the Ethereum one. And yeah, I hope this helps. One final bit before we go though. Let's go back over to the spot side of it. And let's go back to Cardano. Because the reason why I want to do this is to sell the order that we had. So as you know, we bought some demo Cardano for a bit of a giggle to see what was happening. Obviously got 9,000. If we just wanted to sell that, go away tab. If we sell that, press the sell button would help, Ash. We get £3,000 back, probably made a loss. Doesn't really matter, but again, looking at your order history, you can kind of see what's happening. So obviously, yeah, we've made a slight loss there, but nothing major. But you get the idea in terms of how it all works. It is it's one of the easiest exchanges in the world to work, in my opinion. But yeah, other than that, there you go. If you enjoy it, leave us a comment and a like. If you want us to go through something in more detail, let us know in the comments, because this is a pretty quick fly-in visit just to show you the basics of how not to kill yourself. But yeah, other than that, it's relatively straightforward. Premium, we have all the courses, so there's no excuses. If you want to copy people's trades, you can do that in there too. And it is very straightforward once you get to grips with a platform like this.